we undertake within the context of accelerating climate change and extreme weather conditions. Though we are a minor contributor to climate change globally, we have the unfortunate distinction of being one of the most vulnerable countries to the effects of climate change.
This is our planet Earth, a delicate balance of systems before, but that balance is now under threat. Climate change is a long-term alteration of Earth's climate, driven primarily by human activities.
Since the Industrial Revolution, our reliance on burning fossil fuels has released huge amount of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This has caused the global temperature to rise up, which affects our environment.
Because of climate change, ice caps are melting at an alarming rate, contributing to rising of sea levels that threatens the coastal communities. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and intense. Climate change also disrupts our ecosystems, endangering biodiversity and affecting human health.
Did you all know that weather and climate change are different? It's because weather is short-term atmospheric condition, while climate change is long-term pattern and averages over extended periods.
To understand the difference between the climate and the weather, I can give you one example.
The weather is like our mood. It can change quickly and unpredictable. Climate, on the other hand, is like our personality. It's the starting point or baseline of emotion states over a long period of time.
I hope you understand the difference between the climate and the weather with our examples.
Thank you all for all the information that you all stated. Now we know what climate change is and its difference in weather.
Climate change is not
Just an environmental issue. It's about human crisis. It's about families losing their homes, farmers losing their livelihoods, and communities struggling to survive. The challenge of climate change is immense, but the future of our planet depends on the action we take today.
And with that, let's dig deeper into the human and natural causes of climate change, its short-term and long-term effects on our environment, communities, and global system. Last but not the least, the solutions that we should do or address to fight climate change.
For millions of years, the Earth's temperature changed naturally in volcanic eruption, changes in sun's energy, even the adjustment of tectonic plates. But then, in just 150 years, human hands pushed the planet into a new reality.
Our transportation system is now a carbon engine. Cars drive 41% of its emission, and trucks, despite being only 4% of the vehicles, release a disturbing 23% of the total pollution, naming them the worst polluters on the road.
During 2021, nearly 60% of US electricity generation relies on fossil fuels. Our electricity shines indoors, yet burns the atmosphere on the outside. In the field of agriculture, we have the fact that even our farms add heat with fertilizers and livestock, turning the Earth's breath into warming air.
Aside from those, the places we call home fuel the warming world as well. 13% of US emissions from cooking, heating, cooling, and running appliances rise from our buildings. And much of their energy leaks away and disappearing into waste.
Lastly, deforestation. Every forest we fail to protect becomes another source of carbon emission.
In short, people overly depended on non-renewable sources today, which results to a sudden changes of the climate.
The Earth is now under pressure. Extreme weather, rising temperatures, and shifting natural systems are revealing the true force of climate change.
Climate change is no longer a distant threat, but a global reality shaping our daily lives, our communities, and our future.
In the last 5 years, the occurrence of extreme weather events, including the flash floods, heat waves, and severe droughts, has risen in the short term.
According to the World Meteorological Organization, these abrupt changes are damaging ecosystems, causing coral reefs to bleach, soils to dry out, and season cycles that many species rely on to be disrupted.
Over the long term, climate change is steadily reshaping the Earth's environment. As per National Aeronautics and Space Administration or NASA reports, the global sea levels have risen by approximately 3.6 inches since 1993.
The melting glaciers, shrinking ice sheets, and warming oceans are the reasons why the sea levels rising, placing coastal and marine ecosystem at greater risk of flooding, erosion, and habitat losses.
All in all, climate change is affecting the planet both presently and in long term, placing stress on ecosystems, threatening habitats, and transforming life as we know it.
Alam niyo ba, isa sa mga nararamdaman ng komunidad kapag nagkaka-climate change ay ang matinding init. Mapamatanda or bata, nagkakasakit, nagkakaroon ng heat exhaustion and dehydration. That's so very lakitan, di ba?
That's so very true. Pero hindi lang yan sa extreme heat kasi we have raining and kapag umulan, nagkakaroon ng sudden floods. At kapag nagka-flood, of course, maapektuhan yung daloy ng kalsada natin. Nababara yung mga kalsada, hindi nakakadaan yung mga transportation. At pwedeng result nun ay nagkakaroon ng class suspension.
Exactly, madami ding negosyo ang maapektuhan. Nagsasara din ang mga tindahan at pansamantalang walang trabaho ang mga tao, hindi nakakapasok sa trabaho. Katulad nun, wala silang kinikita.
Tama, tama.
You know, that's just a really short-term stuff. Long-term effects even hit harder, especially when farming communities.
Oh, really? That's very true. Kasi kapag nagkaroon ng mga droughts and sudden rainfall, like mapapalit-palit sila, naapektuhan nito yung crop ng mga farmers at naapektuhan din nito yung production ng ating mga resources. 'Di ba?
And huwag natin kakalimutan yung mga nasa coastal communities. Pag tumaas ang tubig, ay wala silang negosyo or hindi sila nakakapangisda. And kailangan nilang lumikas.
That's very sad.
And that's just the sad reality. And hindi lang tayo naapektuhan physically, nakaka-stress din syempre.
True, yes.
And community lives slowly become less stable to overcome over time.
So, yeah, climate change really affects us and it really changes how communities survive.
Exactly. That we talk about
Climate change
climate change
in communities, yes.
communities. Let's talk about paano masosolusyonan ang global system.
Sa global system, yes.
Girl, nakita mo ba yung latest UNEP report? Yung about sa typhoon and drought, bakala, oh. Causing big trouble for global trades.
Oh my God, I just did. Supply chains are delayed, fewer crops are being shipped, tapos yung fuels nag-change siya ng price even for a short time.
Yes, this problem didn't last long but still affect the economy.
Yeah, the long-term effect is also concerning. Tignan mo pa, ang sabi pa dito, oh, the World Bank says that by 2050, climate change could lower global GDP by up to 5%. Oh my God.
Yes, oh my God, that's serious losses in farming, damaged roads and buildings, and limited resources can make economy weaker. Bakla.
Yeah, rising sea levels also threaten the important ports. Kahit yung mga natin, yung mga supply sa food, nakaka-threaten din siya dun.
Like these issues affect trades agreement like cooperation between countries for years.
Yeah,
Bakla.
super
Oh my
clear
God.
yan. And climate change is not about just the environment. It's also effect to our economy, bes. Oh my God.
Grabe.
That's so true.
As we face the crisis of climate change and experience the impact on our everyday lives, we need inspiring, passionate, persisting, and well-informed advocates who will surely contribute a positive impact on the mitigation of the impact of climate change.
That is why we invited one of the members of the Kalikasan organization in Pamantasan ng Kabuyao to have broad understanding of what is happening right now and what are the possible solutions they could recommend for our people and the environment.
Greetings. Can you introduce yourself and the organization and share what inspired you to join PNC Kalikasan?
Ayan, so greetings. I'm Miss Iamfriendly, the co-ed representative of PNC Kalikasan. So, what inspired me the most to join PNC Kalikasan is I want to be a part of advocate. So, syempre, since nag-join ako sa PNC Kalikasan, unang-una sa lahat is gusto kong makatulong sa pagpapalinis ng kalikasan, gano'n, and pag-promote din ng pagiging lover natin sa nature, gano'n.
So, Kuya, it is a very known issue na that climate change is a really big issue na that we are facing right now. From your perspective, Kuya Mesias, what parts of it, the climate change, feel most urgent or impactful in the Philippines?
Pinaka-impactful nun is, of course, yung effect niya, lalo na sa mga tao and dun sa animals. Kasi commonly kapag dahil sa climate change, nawalan ng habitat yung mga animals, tapos also naapektuhan nito yung food productivity.
Yes.
And then ewan ko, pero nagpo-produce din siya ng different effects lalo na sa health ng humans.
Yes.
Can you share example of how climate change has affected your community or our community?
Okay, so pinaka-relevant and visible na effect ng climate change is yung tag-init. So, ramdam na ramdam naman natin yan ngayon, since ngayon marami na din nagpuputol ng puno. So, nainit talaga yung mundo, which is very hindi maganda.
Alarming, yes.
Now, even with these challenges, what keeps you motivated to continue advocating for climate action?
Ayan, so with that being said, since meron mga challenges, that challenge makes me feel more like go into take initiative na gawin yung para sa ating bayan. Since I'm an advocate of the nature, of course it is just natural for me to act. And then ayun lang.
In your experience, Kuya, what actions or projects have actually made a difference sa experience mo?
Ayan, so based on my experience and sa nakikita ko, pinakamagandang project, right?
Yeah.
Project na naging impactful talaga is yung una sa lahat, pagtatanim ng puno.
Yes.
Pangalawa is yung paglinis ng mga paligid. Pangatlo is yung pagkakaroon ng advocacy, promotion ng pagtigil ng mga pollutions, gano'n. Kasi, isang maganda example nan is yung sa Manila. So, ang laki na pinagbago ng Manila ngayon, di ba? Dahil dun sa nagtanim sila ng puno, nagkaroon sila ng advocacy na magpaganda ng bayan nila.
Next question. What can students like us do right now to address these issues?
Again?
What can students like us do right now to address these issues?
So, ayan. So, what we can do as a student is to take initiative, to join programs and organizations that advocate for our kalikasan. Of course, dito sa PNC Kalikasan, ayan. So, hindi man tayo makagawa ng yung mga malalaking programs tulad ng mga governments, at least pwede tayo makatulong sa maliit na paraan by promoting good policies and different programs na makakapagpabuti ng ating kalikasan. Yun lang.
Now that you have talked about the effects of climate change, what is climate change? Now, Kuya, why is it important to act now to solve climate change and not later?
Siyempre, it is important to act now kasi kapag later tayong gumalaw, siyempre, medyo mas malaki na yung impact nun, mas malaki yung effect, mas mahihirapan tayo na solusyonan.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Alam mo ba na ang climate change ay nangyayari na ngayon? Ito ay nakaka-apekto sa mga milyon-milyong Pilipino sa ating bansa.
Tama ka, Be. Lalo dito sa Pilipinas, yung pagbaha, mga environmental degradation, mga issue na yan, lalo lumalaki. So ano ba dapat natin gawin? May ginagawa na ba yung gobyerno para dito?
Exactly. Di na lang dapat sa atin may ginagawa ang gobyerno. Dapat para rin sa future generation.
Tama.
Renewable and clean energy is 7 out of 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
that ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. This goal could make a significant impact in climate change action. Through the government's green energy auctions, the Philippines has awarded 13.6 gigawatts of clean power capacity, more than half of the nation's installed capacity by 2026. Solar farms, wind projects, and hydro plants are rising across the archipelago, promising cheaper electricity, cleaner air, and new jobs.
Mabuti ngayon at may ginagawa ang ating bansa sa seryosong usapan na ito.
Exactly! But what about our local governments? There are any actions or plans?
Cabuyao participates in the Making Land Use Climate Sensitive project, where hydrological modeling informs CLUP revisions across Cabuyao, Santa Rosa, Piñan, and Silang, establishing MOAs for sustainable watershed governance. In 2022, Senro Cabuyao led a tree planting anniversary event with 18 barangays, companies like Nestle, and schools, planting native species to combat deforestation and emissions.
Sa pagtatanim ng mga puno, mas nakakatulong ito sa ating kalikasan.
Across the Philippines, communities continue to face the serious effects of climate change, from El Niño and intense droughts to sudden floods and unpredictable weather patterns. But despite these challenges, Filipinos remain resourceful and resilient. Real and lasting solutions often begin within communities themselves, where people work together, adapt, and create sustainable practices that strengthen local resilience.
One strong example of this is Project Lava. Through this initiative, communities built a small farm reservoirs and rainwater harvesting systems that secure water for households, agriculture, and local fisheries during dry seasons. These water systems help ensure that families have enough supply even when rainfall becomes scarce.
By protecting local water sources and improving storage, barangays become more prepared for extreme conditions brought by El Niño. This project empowers communities to respond to droughts before they escalate into crisis.
Community preparedness is improving in other areas as well. Through programs like Philippine Community Resilience Project, residents participate in risk mapping, planning, and creating early warning system. When people understand the risk and know how to respond, they can protect their homes, secure their livelihoods, and reduce the impact of floods of drought. Climate action at the community level also includes nature-based solutions. In provinces such as Palawan, climate assessment guide local efforts, promoting sustainable fisheries, climate-resilient crops, coral rehabilitation, and improved coastal protection. These strategies help restore ecosystems while strengthening the community's ability to adapt.
Mangrove forests are another natural defense. They reduce flooding, stabilize coastline, and support biodiversity. Strengthening and restoring this ecosystem not only to protect the environment but also safeguard the people who depend on them.
Even simple action at home contribute to climate resilience, managing energy use, reducing waste, and choosing sustainable habits help lessen the strain on our environment and support community-wide efforts.
These examples show that when communities take action, whether through water security, preparedness, or nation-based solution, they become stronger, safer, and more capable of facing climate challenges. As communities continue to take collective action toward environmental protection and sustainable progress, it becomes equally important to recognize how individual choices can strengthen and support these broader efforts.
It becomes clear that collective progress is strongest when supported by individual action.
Community projects rebuild the foundation through policies, shared resources, and coordinate efforts, but their success ultimately depends on the choices each person makes every day.
By shifting the focus from community-wide strategies to personal responsibility, we recognize that meaningful change begins at home, with habits, decisions that align with the broader goals and of sustainability.
In this way, individual solutions become an essential extension of what community strives to achieve, ensuring long-lasting and impactful results.
I may be just one person, but one person can still choose to care, and one person can still choose to act. I will start with the simplest thing. I will unplug appliances instead of leaving them plugged while sleeping, because even a little electricity saved is a little stress removed from our planet.
I will refuse single-use plastics, even when it's easier to grab them. I will bring my own bottle, my own bag, because I don't want my convenience to become the ocean's trash.
I will use public transportation when I can or simply walk. It may be a small step for me, but it's one less smoke in the air.
So let this be a reminder that our planet is not just a responsibility of leaders, communities, and organizations. It begins with us.
Every small choice we make, every habit we change, and every effort we commit, we can create a powerful, spreading positive impact.
The future of our environment depends on our willingness to act today, not tomorrow.
So let us stand together, take responsibility, and become the change that our world urgently needs. The planet is in our hands. Let's protect it, nurture it, and fight for it.